Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zach with Zach Attack Cards, bringing you another exciting sneak attack video in which we're going to open some more Monopoly Prizm NBA trading cards. So this is kind of a part two because as I hope you guys have seen the part one. If not, I'll go ahead and link it in the cards somewhere and you guys can go check that out. I only had the game to open in that one because this stuff's been incredibly hard to track down. But now it's becoming a little bit easier, and as I detailed in that video, I think it's going to become much easier because I have been able to confirm now with multiple different reporting sources, sites online, whatever you want to call it, right? That basically say that Monopoly Prizm is going to be available at other retailers towards the end of the summer. There's no exact date given just yet, but sounds like it's maybe August, September time, somewhere in that range. So it'll no longer be a Target exclusive. But the other good piece of news is you can get one of each of these yourself daily via the Target website, or if you use different accounts, obviously you can do the same thing. It is available, and they are limiting you to just one of each thing. So what my wife did, because it's my birthday, it has been my birthday, I should say, over the past week, was she grabbed me some more to open, and we're gonna have a good time opening them right here on the channel. Why not, right? So we're gonna have our first, I believe they're calling this a booster box, which is kind of interesting considering there's only the 4 cards per pack, 6 packs per box. You know, you'd think a booster box obviously would have more, but I believe this retails for $39.99 if I'm not mistaken. And we do have one more of the games, which retails for $29.99. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into this. We're going to start with the game itself. Try not to bang into the camera. We'll just take it right off. So I wanted to get more than one game just so that I could kind of keep one, not necessarily sealed, but just to kind of have one in better shape. It's similar to what I have done in the past with things like Showdown and stuff like that, and I still do that. I like to get multiple starter sets so that I have multiple play mats and things like that that I can play with if one ever happens to, you know, fall into tatters or something like that. So this guy here, we're going to go ahead and just leave as is because the 8 cards in here are the exact same as the previous video. So go ahead and check that out if you want to know what's in there for yourself. But we are going to grab the 2 packs that come in here. There's 1, and here is 2. So there we go. Then you get everything else you need to play the game in here, right? So I'm gonna go into a little bit on how to play the game as well, because I have finally been able to play it, and I will say that it is a lot of fun. So definitely talking to a guy in myself who loves, you know, TCGs and things like that, and I would consider this to be every bit of TCG. So there's so many games like Pokemon and all that kind of stuff out there that has a board. So I mean, it's arguable, right, that this is just as big of a TCG as, well, maybe not as big, but it's the same. You know, it has a board that you play on. The nice part is they give you a nice, pretty thick rule book, but don't get bogged down by it. It's still very easy to play. In here are your pieces, which are little basketballs, and then you have the board itself, followed by these little guys here that you need to knock out in order to play the game. So these kind of act as your currency. They are obviously points since this is the NBA, right? So you have a red and blue basketball coin-ish thing here that you need to flip every so often in case there's ties. Then you have the 50-point ones, which kind of act as like the $500 bills for those that know Monopoly very well. And you have the 10-point balls, which are, you know, kind of like your $100 bills. There's really nothing smaller than that. The nice part is they give you exactly as much as you need to play, whether you play with 3 other people or just 1 other person, or in some cases, I even, you know, play the game myself. I was trying to think of the proper way to phrase that. But it's very simple. So essentially the games are the properties. That's what you can kind of see right here. So the games are the properties, and they tell you what you need to do in order to own them. And then they also tell you basically what you can collect if another player lands on your square, your property, whatever you want to call it. And that's how you essentially can gain money alongside the fact, obviously, every time you pass go, which is like any other Monopoly game. But the thing that makes this game infinitely more fun than just standard Monopoly, I would say, is the fact that you have the ability to steal properties and players relatively often. So there are spaces on the board. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way while I talk. There are spaces on the board that are called trade. And what you're going to do with those is essentially every single time that you land on one of those, you force somebody that you're playing with to trade with you. It's really that simple. You can take whatever card from them that you want and they have to trade it to you, or you can take a card that's not even playing. So if you have extra cards that are just kind of off to the side, you can also trade with, those are essentially like bank players, even though they don't really do anything until you trade for them. So there's quite a degree of kind of strategy to it, I would say. Because essentially everybody's going to be going for the highest number when it comes to, you know, the value of the players, right? And I'll show you what I mean when I get one open. Because essentially this game plays a lot like, if you're familiar with Topps Attacks, which I think is still made for, I think it might just be soccer nowadays, the Match Attacks I think it's called. But it used to be made for baseball, it used to be made for football, it used to be made for wrestling. I think I've done a video on that as well. I think that still actually comes out in different parts of the world. But essentially, yeah, what you do is you just compare numbers from one card to another, and that's how you determine kind of who wins a quote-unquote game or matchup, whatever you want to call it. And the cards just tell you what to do. They tell you what stats to compare. You know, it's very simple, but like I said, it does have a decent amount of strategy to it, which a lot of fun. So here's what you can see in here. There's a lot of kind of blank space taken up by a piece of cardboard, and then there are your 6 packs. Now we will show you what, if any, is a difference, or what, if any, differences there are from the packs that come from the starter box versus the packs that come from the booster box. Because I do believe that there are. So we're going to go ahead and keep them separate, but we'll take one from the booster box. And you can kind of see, look at all the different things that you can get there, right? And they say 1 in every 3 packs, roughly. Whereas this guy, if you take a look, you only have the ability to get these Monopoly Black Classic Icon cards. And you only get, I guess there's 2 different ones, a base and then an insert. And on average, you get 1 in every single pack. So they basically give you the ability to get something nice from each pack, even if you're just sticking to the starter, which is enough to play with. You know, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing saying or holding you back from playing the game if all you can get your hands on is the starter pack. So we'll open the starter ones first, and you guys can kind of see what you get in there versus what you get in the booster boxes. And we will start things off, once again, not incredibly familiar with rookies or even some vets. So we have Kawhi Leonard, who's definitely somebody I'm familiar with. Domantas Sabonis and Jaden Ivey for the rookie. Once again, if you guys don't mind, head down below and let me know who the top rookies are that you can pull in here. I'd love to find out without, you know, doing a whole bunch of research, because I'm really just doing this to play the game, to be honest. I'm not doing this for any kind of investment. And our Monopoly Prizm Black Classic Icons is Cade Cunningham, who's a guy that I'm not super familiar with, but since he's a quote-unquote special card, we're going to go ahead and toss him in a penny sleeve. But definitely let me know in the comments down below if this is something you've been able to track down. Let me know if it's a game that you play or if it's just something that you pick up to collect the cards, because there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, you basically collect however you want to collect, right? You have Joel Embiid, the MVP, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, and Cole Anthony for our, once again, the Black Monopoly Icon card. So, not too bad. A little bit of the usual kind of Panini dust on there, but that's to be expected. So definitely not as good as we did in the last one. Go back and check that one out. We had some nicer pulls of those. Well, let's get right into the booster box, which promises us 24 cards across 6 packs, 4 cards apiece. No difference in the packs, so make sure you're aware of that if you're buying loose packs. Take a look at the back, and you can certainly tell if they're starter or not. And we have a Kevin Durant. This is from the PS series, which I think is the kind of like the insert series. We'll stick him there. We have Keldon Johnson, Steph Curry, and finishing on Paolo Banchero. All right, I think he is one of the top guys. Again, you guys can correct me. But here's the stats, right? So I forgot to kind of point those out, right? So you have an overall player rating of 87, offense, defense, and skills. And whatever card you happen to be pulling, whether it's the All-Star Game cards, which are what you pull when you cross go, or the property cards, or I think that's basically it. There's also like a chance or you know, like luxury chests or whatever it is from the original game, but can't remember exactly what that's called off the top of my head. But that's another one. Essentially, all those different cards or things that you pick up will tell you what stats to compare, and then you just take your card and your opponent takes their card, they flip it over, and they say compare offense, right? So it would be a 90 for Banchero and a 95 for Curry. So Curry would win whatever, you know, was the stake for that card. You know, whether you win that card or you win that property or, you know, what have you. Let's keep right on going. See what we have here. We got another KD. Oh, we got something shiny on the back. That's cool. So not going to be a completely base thing, which tons of people get all base in here. I would, you know, say if you're just looking to play the game, then it's not really that disappointing. But if you're looking to just specifically correct the cards, I can certainly see where that is annoying. But RJ Barrett, Jaden Hardy for the rookie. And we have a Cade Cunningham, another one of his, and it's the Go one, I guess. Non-numbered or anything from the looks of it, but you can see the Go symbol in the background. That's quite neat. Unfortunately, would have preferred a player that I actually knew. I don't really know him, and don't come after me. I don't really follow the NBA too much. I'll throw a game on every so often, but that's about the extent of it. Terry Rozier. We have Bam Adebayo. DeJounte Murray, possibly. And Rudy Gobert. All base pack. 3 to go. Let's see what we got here. Starting things off with a Cade Cunningham for the 3rd time. Chet Holmgren. I do believe he's another one of the top rookies, so that's a nice one to pull. We got LaMelo Ball and Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler. All right. 2 more packs to go. And we will get you on out of here. You guys can go play for yourself if you can find yourself a starter. Or just order yourself from Target.com, like I said. Oh, there's some color. Look at that. Keldon Johnson. We got another Steph Curry. We got another Paolo Banchero. And we have a Klay Thompson. Look at that. Numbered to 149. 110 out of 149. This is a pretty good box. Not bad. Seen tons of people with, I'm telling you, all base boxes. That is nice. Very nice. Last pack. Let's see if we can get any more magic. See if we can get a little LPM, a little last pack magic here. Or maybe we should have ended on that pack. Steph Curry from the insert series, the PS series. Ja Morant. We have Colin Sexton and Benedict Mathurin, possibly. So not bad, you know, not too bad. 1 numbered card, 2 inserts. Got the 2 inserts, obviously, from the starters, but very nice. 1 numbered and 1 non-numbered. So very successful, I think. But that'll probably be the end of it on this channel, unless I can get my hands on the blaster boxes. They got to be hopefully popping up around here somewhere, and see if I can visit a local Target, or if they pop them on their website. You never know, maybe they'll limit you to one of those. I don't remember the amount of cards you get in there. I think you get the most out of there again, though, if I'm not mistaken. There's tons of other videos and stuff like that you can check out as well if you don't want to wait and you're just curious right now. So But hey, thanks for watching. This has been Zach with Zach Attack Cards. As always, I appreciate you spending some time with me. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, if you could just head down below, hit that little subscribe button, hit that little like button while you're there. Drop me a comment. As I said, let me know if you're playing the game, just collecting the cards, or if you have a question about the game. Maybe I can help you, or somebody in the community can help you out. But that will do it for me. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.